broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one after show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Can you keep it sweater?
Oh,
One you say.
shit, we're
Better lock it in my pocket. Taking this one to the grave. And I show you better know.
We're so off tonight. I think we just gotta jump in.
Wait, just two can keep a secret if one of them is dead.
All right, we made it through,
Anna.
but that was a rough run.
That was a rough one today.
Yeah. Well, hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to another Pretty Little Liars after show. Of course, it is season 6, episode 7. I cannot believe we're this far along into season 6.
2 more episodes.
2 more episodes of this summer season, and then we have the time jump. But we're going to get into all of that, and Charles as well. First of all, I want to tell you that we are streaming live on YouTube tonight, and you can also find us on SoundCloud and iTunes. Rate, comment, let us know what you're thinking. If you've been watching our show on a consistent basis, you know that we love hearing your comments, and we will always retweet you and do anything we can to get in touch and write back, and we just love hearing from you because this show is definitely all about the fan theory.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. So we want to hear from you, and you can do that by tweeting at us, and you can tweet AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV, and you can tweet me at Stephanie Wenger, and my name is Stephanie Wenger, by the way.
So weird.
So crazy, guys. I know.
My
So
name
original.
is also I'm at Kristin Strange, and my name is also Kristin Strange. It's so weird.
I'm still waiting for my name to become the hotshot dude, but it hasn't stuck yet. But you all can tweet at me at the hotshot dude, but my name is Hannah, unfortunately.
My name is Heather Joy Smith, and you guys can tweet at me at Heather Joy Smith. Make it really simple on
I
you
know,
all.
it's crazy how difficult our handles are. Hannah really is going outside the box.
Just trying to throw a wrench in it, you guys.
And tonight's episode, before I forget, is called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?, which I thought was a very fitting title with kind of the search for Charles deepening and getting intense. I feel like this episode was all about the intensity of finding him. But before we get to that, I want to talk about this ongoing issue with Sarah. We talk about her all the time, whether or not we trust her, and every week I come in here less and less trusting of Sarah.
Yes, thank you. Totally. I feel the exact same way, and I felt like tonight they kept trying to make us trust her and believe her. I don't believe her.
You were serious about it.
I
don't
think it's a
trust
little
her.
odd, though, that she's leaving.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's good for her to leave, though. She doesn't need to be at Emily's house anymore.
Oh, totally. I totally agree.
And I think that by being with Claire, it's a part of her past. Maybe it'll help her bring a part of her past here. Because with Emily, all she is, oh, that girl that got captured with us. But we don't know anything about her life before that. But with Claire, she can kind of be bring a little bit of who she was, just not the part that was mean.
I think it's very bizarre, though, that Claire would be so offering of her house and her time with somebody who...
Didn't you ever have a friend who was mean?
Yeah,
But if they
it's just a
changed-
little odd
Yeah.
how quickly this
Yeah.
relationship is developing. And,
Maybe-
it seems like if someone was really mean to me in my past, I wouldn't be like, oh, hey, come move in with me.
Well, maybe they were childhood friends, and that kind of friend never
Still.
really goes away,
Yeah.
even if she grew up and became a teenager and became all bitchy, and then now
I
she's-
suppose.
yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't so questioning of Claire, I guess. I thought, yeah, maybe it's a blast from the past and she just wants to get to know her and have her in her life for some reason. I just don't trust Sarah in any way. I just feel like she's using Emily in every way possible because the reason she's leaving, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that she wants to be in a relationship with her.
Right.
So ultimately she's getting closer to her, not further away.
That's so true.
And I was so disgusted by the way Emily was being all jealous when they were sitting down for lunch, and Emily was like, well, no, because my mom is gonna cook us dinner
Yeah.
and everything like that. And I was like, dude, back off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like Sarah, but cool your jets, Emily.
I was like, go home. She can take Sarah home. She's just way too protective.
Yeah.
Well-
That was a little overreactive.
Well, in some ways, it's strange because I can't figure out if Emily wants to be in a relationship with her or if she's like trying to be like the big sister. It feels like this weird, overprotective something, and it's almost beyond being in a relationship.
I kind of almost feel like they experienced the same thing, and that kind of created a bond in Emily's mind with Sarah, regardless of who she is, if she's good or bad or whatever, shady. And so I kind of feel like in that way, she feels like she has to protect her because, like, they're in Rosewood. This is Emily's territory, but, like, she still has to protect her.
Yeah, and forgive me if we mentioned this on the show before or if it was tweeted to me, I can't remember, but someone was talking about Emily having some version of Stockholm Syndrome.
Right.
Sarah. Yeah, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. It was like...
The medical terms, yes.
Yes, and how... But in some ways, it's interesting, like...
Always.
Like, yeah, is there something there because they were through this experience together, so they have some bond that they can't break?
Yeah, that might be true. You know, she got out, and Emily was the one person who reached out to her, so she kind of became her security blanket and her crutch through this whole thing.
It's interesting. It's an interesting thought.
And it's something for Emily to focus on, too, because it's like, oh, I went through this, but you went through it worse.
I just wanted Emily to check for that darn chip. I was like, that failed last time you tried and you sucked her face. I'm like, check for the chip, crazy. Check for it.
Right. She didn't even check for it this episode.
Do we...
Bothered me.
They should have just brought one of those things back from the lab and been like, whoop, okay, Sarah, you're clean.
Yeah, right?
But do we trust Claire? I kind of want to get a pull on this.
Yeah, I feel like she's
Yeah.
harmless. She doesn't know what's going on.
Honestly, I don't think that A was like, you go and find Sarah and you bring her back to your, like, I honestly.
That's too much work.
Yeah. I think it's like, hey, you should probably be with me. And
I don't know.
like,
Someone certainly exists. Because
Yeah.
we see someone actually in the episode in the black outfit, which is kind of rare, I feel like. It's normally towards the end we get that
Right.
last, like, 30 seconds of them
Right.
with the glove.
I feel like this person in the black outfit was a lot bigger than normal, too.
I thought they were tiny.
You did?
They looked bigger in the shadow, and then when they, like, went to him and he, like, turned real quick, I was like, whoa, you just turned into a tiny little person.
Well, maybe I missed that because they seemed bigger to me.
Really?
Maybe it was the shadows, though.
And also, this is so conspiracy theory, but I felt like the handwriting was different tonight. When we saw, like, the A cap, I forget what the note was that we saw this on, but that it just felt really different to me, that it looked like a different style of handwriting. I can't even describe it. So if I'm crazy, tweet me that. I want to know. If you all...
Okay, but I think the
Hannah,
reason...
you are crazy. No, just kidding.
But I think the reason for that
Expect it
is
from
simply that they're having a lot of different, like, people on set write those notes.
Yeah.
Somebody in props is missing up every time. They're passing it to a different person, like, hey, did you write the Charles note? No, shoot. Oh, somebody's got to write the Charles note. Just try to make it look like this child's handwriting. Just do it.
It's like their intern every time.
Yeah.
You
right?
know, it's just somebody last minute.
Or maybe when you say it that way, maybe it's an intentional choice that the handwriting isn't supposed to be a clue and that it does look different every time, and I just happened to particularly notice it tonight. Good job, Pretty Little Liars.
Maybe every A has a different handwriting.
So many theories. I love it.
What if there are A's working against each other?
Ooh. I like that theory.
And what do you think
good one.
about them getting these birthday notes? Creepy?
It's like creepy, but it's funny in a way because they're birthday notes.
Right.
I think it's kind of cool.
It's like,
I
come
do
to
it.
my birthday party where I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. It's like, it's really strange because it's like a really sinister, because like you think of like a child's birthday party, and we even had the flashback at the end of the episode to, I think it was, I didn't write it down, Freddie? Was that the...
Yeah, Freddie. Why do they keep calling him Freddie in there?
I think
was like a code?
Here's my reasoning. Because it might be like a nickname for him. Maybe his name is Charles Frederick. Who knows? But like maybe they were calling him Freddie so that if the kids went home and they were like, we had so much fun with Freddie.
That's
that,
what I thought,
that they
too,
could
yeah.
be to Mr. D since he didn't know.
Right.
It could be like, oh, hey, Freddie, you know, that's a friend they made at the arcade, you know, whatever.
Well, and I wondered, too, if Mr. De Laurentiis was there at that birthday party, or because I watched it with, you know, the subtitles or whatever on it, or the captioning on it, and it kept Miss De Laurentiis' voice, or whoever it was, I assume Miss De Laurentiis, but it kept saying woman 1 and woman 2.
Yeah, I saw
and
that too.
differentiating between two voices. So it made me wonder if when they got rid of Charlie or like sent him away, that they had given him to the aunt that they had talked about, so that they were both there, and that's when they started calling Charlie Freddie, so that the kids would think he was just like a friend or a cousin.
Well, they called him a cousin, which I thought was interesting. If you're gonna say don't go tell your dad, why would you say that was a cousin? I mean, that just seems too close to the family, rather than saying, oh, here's your friend Freddie, you know?
Right. But what also confused me, though, was because at the very end, when we do see the gloves and he's ripping open, or when A or whoever is ripping open the picture, the package said, didn't it say from Freddie? So that would show that, like Freddie or Charles or whoever or whatnot, that there's two different people acting as A, or the gloves may not necessarily be A.
Right. I understand what you mean. I've always assumed that the gloves represent whatever A is.
I did too.
But I think it could be a larger team. I don't think Charles is acting alone in this.
Right.
No, impossible.
Well, it just made me feel all of a sudden that, like, that which one is A then? Because that definitely, to me, clarified that there were two different people. That gloves and hooded sweatshirt may be two different people. And that there may be something against each other, because that was a gift to gloves.
That's interesting.
From Freddie.
Interesting.
He opened the package.
I wanted to go back and kind of look at the timeline of Charles and go into, so he was in Radley, and then he got out of that and became Freddie. Is that the assumption, that once he was out of Radley,
I think it was
mom,
a visit, though, because he said, when do I have to go back?
But the mom...
But back where?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
back where? And also the mom was like, oh, like, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was like, don't worry about that, or not for a long time.
Yeah, I was like, you don't have to go back for a long time.
Yeah, it was like... So it made me think, like, maybe he thought he was going back, but he never really did. I wasn't sure if that was... That's why I kind of brought up the timeline.
But we do know that he escaped Radley the night that Allie went missing. So he would have been, at that point, if Jason's like 3 or 4 years older or 5 years older than them, then he's, 6 or 7. If she was 14, he would have been... He's in his 20s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now he's, like, in his mid to late 20s. And so he had to have been in Radley at that point. So at some point he had to have gone back.
Well, if that's whatever, I'm, like, taking shots in the dark. But if that's his age range, then that would understand why maybe Melissa and Ian and all of them had some sort of association, because then they could have known him or been friends and known that secret. You know what I mean? Have been a part of that.
I feel like he's definitely more in the Melissa age range, or like a couple years older.
Right, which brings us back to this multi-generational...
Well, Melissa and Jason are the same age.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, yeah. So then
so
he'd be like
he'd
2
be
years
a
older or
year,
something.
like probably a grade or 2 grades ahead of them in school.
Who then would be...
But-
do we know any characters that would be in that age range?
No.
Not really.
But
New
the
Copper.
thing is that Jason was supposed to be a product of an affair, and they said that they didn't move to town until Allie was born, after they gave up Charles. But how can Jason be the product of an affair with Mr. Hastings if they didn't even move to town and no one knew about Charles? Do you
we're getting into some really deep dives here for Pretty Little Liars.
Writing better figure it out.
Yeah, because
We're gonna need another flow chart here.
because they led us to believe that the affair between Mrs. De Laurentiis and Mr. Hastings happened because they were next door neighbors.
Right.
But it would have had to happen when they lived in completely separate towns, and if he doesn't know about Charles, then he would have had to know nothing about her life or her family, because she would have had an infant at home when she conceived
The
Jason.
fact of the matter is, though,
If Charles is in fact Mr. De Laurentiis' son.
I understand completely. Thank you. That was really amazing.
Thanks.
But I have to say, the other thing that puts all of that into question is that we know that Allie's father doesn't always tell the truth.
Right.
And so that is a timeline of according to Allie's father.
Fair point, yeah.
So we don't know, did he move sooner, and is he lying about the age? We're a little unclear on who this Charles, we know the name, and we know related to the De Laurentiis, but I don't totally believe. I'm not even sure that it's really their brother. Like, I'm not sure how much I trust. It I guess is the bottom line.
I'm so confused what's happening, and I'm starting to get to that point where I feel like no matter what, they have made this whole, entire series the way that they've just run around to different, like, theories and possibilities, and I feel like jump ship on, like, things that they may have thought or people they thought was going to be like, seasons ago, and now may not be. Like, I'm concerned that whatever the answer is, it's going to be disappointing because the dots that they now have to somehow fix and connect, they may not be able to.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I do believe, though, that they have I would like to say that the Pretty Little Liars writers have a master chart of it all.
I hope so.
I mean,
I sure hope so.
I think in order to really achieve this in the way that fans are hoping for, they have to. We always joke about wanting charts, and some of our fans have created amazing ones for us. But I think they must have the master of master charts.
If that's the case, then I want to know what that writer's room looks like.
I know.
I'm
Should we
just
take a
imagining like
tour?
Post-it notes and strings, like something
I
crazy.
hope they release this when the whole thing is over
yeah.
and show every little step of this.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see because, as we said, we have two more episodes and then the finale, I believe. So we have 3 more episodes total
After today, yeah.
after today. So in order to tie up who Charles is and what is truth versus lies, that's going to be crazy in 3 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like we didn't really get a whole lot of answers tonight.
No, we had a lot more questions than answers.
Right.
It was definitely one of those episodes. But I'm excited because we did see an A-type figure.
Yes.
I don't know what that means because I don't know how this happens every single week. I feel like anytime we get close to them, there's some issue. And tonight it was clearly that Toby had taken Spencer's gummy bears, and I feel like I'm on How I Met Your Mother with the gummy bears, but gummy bears.
I joked though while we were watching this. I said, regardless of what was in those gummy bears,
thought they were jelly beans.
if my boyfriend stole my gummy bears without asking me, done.
First of
We're
all,
over. Don't eat the white ones.
I didn't even know you could make pot gummy bears. Like, I didn't know that was
I
a
did know that
thing.
because it was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians because
Oh.
Kris Jenner's mom took them in gummy bear form.
I'm so glad we are up on our pop culture, guys.
But, I mean,
I thought they were jelly beans. That's all I'm going to say. I thought they looked like jelly beans.
how can
Anybody?
we not crack up about that? Like,
So funny.
Toby can't get him, and we can't have him fail. So let's just get him real high and turn some lights on to make him.
Well, yeah, and they were in like
Like an arcade.
yeah, it was an arcade, and then he just clearly, and it was just a crazy special
Accidentally
effect
high.
that they used to kind of.
That just seemed, honestly, it actually really bothered me because it just seemed silly to me the way that they set that up. Like, because we can't have him succeed. We got to throw a wrench in it
Right.
somehow. So he just like sees the gummies. I'm saying jelly beans. The jelly beans sitting there, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna take these. I'm like, guys, come on. It bothered me. It actually really bothered me. I thought it was just kind of
Well,
silly.
one of my favorite things about Pretty Little Liars is the plot twists and that you often don't know where the show is going. And tonight it did feel like that was very clear where that was going to go.
Very predictable tonight.
Someone mentioned it on the live chat too, how Lorenzo got hit by those baseballs, and he's down on the floor like he got shot. Like,
I know.
oh,
Yeah.
When they all came over, and he's like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'm like, it was a baseball, Lorenzo.
Calm down.
I know it hurts.
You're okay.
Calm down.
Well, for a minute, I literally thought he was, like, shot or something. Like, we didn't see that. We saw the baseballs, but, like, he had some other injury happen to him because he was so down on the floor.
I was like, did he get shot? Did Toby accidentally high shot him?
Dude, I did have a fear of that though because when he was like stumbling back all high, that gun was just like.
It's like flying
I was
everywhere.
like, I have this prediction that Lorenzo's gonna die, and I was like, this is how it's gonna happen because Toby's gonna be high, he's gonna accidentally shoot him, and he's gonna never forgive himself.
Well, I mean, baseball players, I know you'll be tweeting me about how it does hurt, and I'm sure it does, but it's just one of those things where I felt like it was a strange moment, and I wanted the girls were so concerned about, I guess, Toby and what was happening to Lorenzo that they didn't even go after this
they should have. It doesn't look like he's armed.
Yeah, it feels like they never take their opportunity when it's right in front of them.
Well,
it's
I feel
so
like the police
frustrating.
also came in too and kind of like stopped that plan too because they're like, put your hands up.
Right.
And what were they gonna do? Turn around and start running? Like,
But sometimes but sometimes I wonder if they did chase after A, like what would they do once they got there? Be like, whoa, chicken dance, how are we gonna catch you? You know, which I kind of would love to see.
I mean, 4 against 1, you probably could figure it out.
Right. It's true. Before we move on to talking about Mike and Arya and all of that, I do want to talk about Hannah and this scholarship that she got that, again, ties back to Radley. I swear Radley's like
It's the center.
Yeah, it's the
Radley
mother lode.
is going to be A.
I mean...
all of Radley.
All of Radley.
Well, I do have a theory that, so A being multiple people, and probably, I'm feeling like it's going to be at least partially multi-generational, and maybe that little bit older, maybe that Ezra age, or I don't know.
Ezra would be in the age range.
He
Yeah.
would be. He's the only one.
He would.
Ren.
Oh, yeah, Ren.
Ren. But
We said Ren multiple times, too.
I was going to say, Ren comes up a lot for us, but I think that it'll be interesting to see how all these people are connected, because you start to wonder who of the parents, like, I'm starting to now get into, like, the nitty-gritty of which parent would do this, which kind of mid-20s individual would do this, and which high schooler, if any of the girls, Sarah, we've pointed to, Mona has been talked about, who's involved, more or less. And I think that's where it's getting really interesting, is being able to, like, pinpoint more specifically who is involved.
Yeah. I more so, like, in this episode, kept wondering what Charlie's intentions were with each person and each family member.
Yeah.
Because I felt like his note to Jason was a little bit less threatening.
Well, he said, I want to trust you at the very
Yeah.
end, so I don't think it was meant to be threatening.
Yeah. So it just makes me wonder what then it is that he has against Allie and her friends and the dad that he doesn't have against Jason.
Right.
I think Jason was his friend.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's kind of stayed with him because Jason was always his friend.
It's his buddy.
Yeah.
His brother.
And I guess looking back, he really never did anything to
Right.
Jason,
Yeah.
right? He's always been kind of in the clear.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And what did you think about Ashley getting this, I hesitate to call it a scholarship, but scholarship for Hannah from this organization that's tied to Radley?
I mean, who cares? Money is money. Once you cash the check, what are they going to do?
But
I feel like it, yeah.
I mean,
I liked how Hannah was like, I just don't trust it because they're used to there being a catch to everything.
But what's if I send you a check and you cash it, what am I supposed to do?
I feel
now?
like it's gonna bounce or something is gonna come with repercussions.
You think?
No, I mean,
absolutely. There's no way someone's gonna give her $30,000 and not be tied back to A or obviously Radley.
yeah.
Come on, something's coming.
I also wonder if once she took the money, like, I hate to say this, but would Ashley make some sort of deal that she doesn't realize is dangerous for her daughter, but like, oh, she'll major in this and they know where she is because she's majoring in, like, it allows them possibly too much information about her.
I agree.
I'm reaching so much in all these theories, but we have nowhere to go anymore besides reach really far. But I did like how Spencer had said it's his bank account that they like turned that created almost a fake organization so that they could filter money to Charlie or Mrs. D could filter money. And I'm starting to wonder if, well, God, I don't know because I want to be like, is Mrs. D involved? But she's dead. But I'm like, but is she dead? Like, you know,
Right. She might not even be dead.
Maybe she just wanted to spend more time with Charles, and so she's like, let me pretend to be dead so I can spend
And
some
then
time.
the two of them are A.
It just really clarifies that there probably is like a multi-generational thing, that there has to be an adult involved and have some sort of weird relationship with Charlie, because I honestly felt like that whole picture frame at the end and that being a gift from Charlie or Freddie or whatever was like warning an adult, like, that may be causing trouble for the kids, like, I'm here and I'm coming back.
I also wonder,
or whatever. I don't know.
Charlie would be, as we said, like in his mid-20s right now.
Right.
So could he be having an affair with one of the adults? And this is, again, reaching.
Whoa. What if
I was gonna
he's having
say
an affair
Mrs.
with
D, but that's his
oh.
mom.
What if he
creepy.
What if he's having
not
an
do
affair
that.
with Mrs. Marin? Or
Oh.
I mean, she likes those younger men.
I mean, Melissa's never been one to stay true to a guy, so
True.
he could be doing
Yeah.
something with her.
I don't
or-
know. It feels like I expect when we find out who Charles is, hopefully in 3 episodes, hoping they're not lying about that, that I think we're going to find him with somebody from that older generation. And who is that person and why? Is it going to be the mother who's still alive? Is it going to be somebody who he's having a relationship with? I could see it going a lot of ways, and how are all these people? That's what I'm excited for in 3 episodes. But before we get to that, I want to talk briefly about Mona and the ever-going on and off relationship with Mike.
That was so awkward. Like, let's.
So awkward.
Yeah.
I'm
was
so
awkward.
upset, and then okay, let's kiss. Okay,
Yeah.
we're working things out.
Yeah, it just, I
Sums
feel
it up.
like it's, I mean, maybe it's a true example of a high school relationship, but so on and off.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a high school relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I love that he's so obsessed with her, and he goes to his sister and he's like, "Have you heard from her? What's
you tell
going
her
on?"
not to
Yeah,
contact
yeah,
me?
like so intense. Because I feel like it. I don't know. Normally, I feel like in these shows we get like the girls being more intense about the guys, and so it's an interesting switch
yeah.
in
Yeah.
that way.
In Breakfast at Tiffany's, Holly, don't know how to pronounce that name. Sorry, I've never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's. She called Paul Varjak Freddie.
Only go lightly, you crazy.
Oh.
That's an interesting. That's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought about.
Can't read, guys. Sorry.
She needs glasses.
Yeah.
This is really small on my screen, to be fair. But yeah, so I mean, you remember we
That's
had the
really interesting.
Varjak
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
with Freddie. That's weird.
That is weird.
But why are we using... I don't know. I just need all the answers. I'm so sick of it.
3 episodes.
I'm sorry, I'm not sick of it. I'm still like hanging on by a thread. Well, I'm still hanging on.
Well, I feel like this is a show that I will never give up on. I need the answers, so I'm in till the end. I feel like right now I just need it to be the summer finale because I need to know who Charles is, and I'm hoping that answer comes.
Casting that must have been
Crazy,
Right?
and also the
How do you cast
non-disclosure
Did we ever
agreements
see that on
for
LA casting, guys?
Yeah, I know, right? It's so crazy to think about. And I love that Arya is still trying to be like, it's okay, don't worry about anything, and like with her brother, because like, and it's, but you know that like she has such bigger fish to fry at this point.
Yeah,
totally.
That like that relationship isn't even like playing into anything at this
Yeah.
point.
Right.
It was nice to see the Mike show up again, but like I kept, when he was first brought back into this episode or whatever,
Yeah.
and Arya's like throwing things and turns around and sees him, it's just like, oh, didn't see you there, and I'm like, yeah, we haven't seen him this entire season. Can we talk about that?
He's on Team
Well, the
Wolf
funny thing is-
now. I mean, the actor Cody Christian.
Right, but I'm like, can we address where he's been?
Yeah.
Because
I know the
otherwise,
long
like, haven't
lacrosse
seen you.
practice, Mike.
Right. The funny thing is when we first see the credits pop up, like at the very, very beginning, it said Cody Christian. I'm like, oh, maybe that's just, they must show that every episode.
Yeah.
And then he popped up, I'm like, oh, he's actually in this episode.
Right.
They're like, he's here. We'll give him a big part.
Yeah.
Get back with Mona.
Yeah, get back with Mona.
No, it's one of those funny things where you're like, realistically, like, if you know the entertainment industry, you know that he is
Filming
on another show, and it all makes sense why he's not on
You
Pretty
know
Little
what, Cody
Liars.
Christian? Gotta make time.
But-
Liars.
But that being said, like, you do wonder where the character has
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was a really funny explanation, wandering the hallway. Like, he's been gone a while.
He's been wandering back and forth for a long
It
time.
was just lacrosse camp. It
Yeah.
was really long. He's just trying to get a college scholarship.
Yeah,
And a break.
it's crazy long. All right. Well, should we jump in? I think we've covered the show. Oh, we forgot to mention Arya, of course, is a finalist for the program, for the art program that she
Woo,
applied
go
to.
Arya.
So hopefully that'll work out, and A won't mess with that. I don't know.
She's
That's
going to
another,
LA for her.
It's another crazy, yeah. Yeah.
I do like that they're starting to like sneak in what they possibly like may be doing
in that
4-year jump.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Are you ready for some news and gossip?
Yeah.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
So this one's so fun. Marlene King this week tweeted out a picture of the cast from the pilot.
So cute. I love this
Such a
picture.
great photo. I was obsessed. Like, it's so sweet, and how much they've all changed over the course of 6 seasons is nuts. So if you have not gone on Marlene King's Instagram, it's definitely worth checking this photo out. I wish we could have it up tonight, but you should check it out for sure. And do you have a...
Someone did say that we did forget to speak about the surgery on their necks where they took out
Oh,
their
that was
tracking.
so gross. I can't even.
I think
I get a little queasy with that, so we'll just pass on
Okay,
that
for
one.
how deep they needed to cut,
Right?
there was going to need to be stitches, and I'm like, nobody could perform that. So okay,
Ugh.
once
They
again, I
watch
was
YouTube
frustrated.
videos
Yeah.
and they're like, we can surgery,
And,
guys.
and they were doing it with an X-Acto knife.
Yeah, it was just...
even grosser.
I think
can't.
I mentally blocked it, guys.
can't
I'm
even.
so sorry. We did skip that. But
And when Hannah was bleeding, and they're like, Hannah, you're bleeding. I'm like, you all should be bleeding.
Right.
What?
They just
You
put a
did
Band-Aid over it. They're
surgery
like,
on
"We're
each
done.
other."
Band-Aid."
yeah, I was like, oh, no worries, just a Band-Aid will fix that. No.
No.
So let's continue on. We mentioned this last week briefly, but Sister Cities is the new film that Troyan was cast in, and we mentioned that it's all about sisters coming back after their mother's death, but we have a little more casting news. Stana, I can never say this lady's lovely name, Stana Katic
From Castle.
From Castle, who's phenomenal, as well as Michelle Trenchenberg from Gossip Girl, and Jesse Weigser. Wow, I'm having trouble with the last names today, guys. From The Good Wife. All have been cast in that as well. So
How many sisters are there?
I don't know how many sisters there are, and Alfred Molina and Jackie Weaver are also going to be in it. So it's going to be a really complete, I think, big ensemble cast at this
awesome.
point. Yeah, so I'm excited to see that, and it sounds like a great project, especially for her hiatus and all of that.
Yeah.
And then we have a bit of a spoiler. Ooh,
What is it?
Spoiler alert!
Yes, I was waiting for the spoiler alert. I'm so excited. All right. So, E! News is reporting that in the second half of season 6, we'll be introduced to a politician's daughter who will cause drama for the girls. Yeah, so I wonder if one of them is in the political arena? Possibly?
Possibly.
I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's going to be really exciting to see how they do that.
I could see that being Spencer, possibly.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah?
I read
Yeah.
something about it
Really?
possibly being Hannah, because a politician's daughter, maybe Hannah's working in fashion, maybe politician's daughter's now working in fashion.
Or I can see Hannah marrying somebody or dating somebody.
It's
that's
true, yeah.
Being like a politician's wife, or
Right.
her just trying to
Or
run.
she's dating a politician's
Yeah,
son.
or
marrying-
her the way that she is, and so female. I feel like maybe she'd.
That's like a real
She,
It's real female. All right.
I feel like maybe she'd run for mayor.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, Hannah, mayor
Those
at
one?
22.
I was gonna say
Oh yeah, she will only be 22, won't
Yeah.
she? God.
Yeah, I was wondering, in politics,
I mean,
though,
in that outfit she was in tonight, she could
She
be
looked
40,
it.
but...
She looked good in that outfit tonight, y'all.
Yeah. So that's really interesting, though. I'm excited to see how that stirs the pot. I think it's going to be a really different show when we come back for the winter season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dig it.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready
They're
for
gonna
them
be
to
like
embrace the maturity of it.
closer to our ages, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of us that have been watching them for so long, we're finally gonna be the same age again.
Yeah. So
Again.
Well, I was the same age as them when the show started.
I think
but,
I was too, I don't even know.
I've aged and they
I'm a little
haven't.
closer to their real life ages.
Yeah.
whatever. It all works. Wow, guys, we're doing really well today. So let's jump into predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ
We're all
TV prediction.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, and
I'm like, consolidate theories.
Ready?
Consolidate theories.
I think I'm going to stick with what I mentioned earlier, which is that we're going to get into this multi-generational I think we're going to see who Charles is, and I'm most excited about who is next to him in that big reveal, because I don't think it's going to be alone. I think there's going to be some other big surprise, big twist at the end of this season. Could be the mother is alive, could be someone else. We also didn't see Ezra tonight, and I hate to point a finger at Ezra because you know how much I love Arya and Ezra together. But
How dare you?
I know he is in that age range, though, that makes me question.
Right.
Yeah.
He might know more than he. You know what? I can't see
I
him
can't
knowing
do
more
it.
than he says.
No.
Like, if he knew something, he would say it to help Arya.
Right.
There's no world in
He's
which.
been so protective of her.
Right.
That's what I want to believe. But I do wonder if he's keeping things from her in some way to protect her. I don't know. It's just, it makes me so sad to say it, guys. You have no idea. But I do wonder who else is involved, I guess. And it's not a prediction. It's just, that's my biggest curiosity right now. I know we're going to find out who Charles is, but it's the surrounding cast that makes me so crazy to know who that is.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I have a feeling next episode that Charles is going to be really, really upset at Jason, and I think he or she is going to retaliate against Jason in some way, shape, or form. This episode, I kind of felt like Mr. D is a little shady, even though he seemed to be protecting Allie. His anger issues really scare me.
I mean, he goes really off the handle very quickly.
And so I feel like it's just a little too extreme for just being a normal dad. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Yeah, no, he really does.
I didn't trust him this episode at all.
I mean, to be fair, the stress that he must have with, like, his daughter being missing and then, like, being found and then other people being missing and then finding out his dead son is alive, like, that's a lot.
it's a lot to handle. I get it.
yeah. Also, Caleb was missing tonight. It's another...
Still
yeah.
don't trust him.
No.
I was going to say, that one should make you...
That is never going to go away.
Yeah.
I have this weird feeling about him, too, and I'm not saying that he is Charles, although lots of people on the chat are saying that he is Charles.
How dare you, chat people?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Lots of them are saying that it's either Ezra or Caleb.
Yeah, well, they've been working together as a team.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You guys.
I know. It will make me so
It's gonna break
sad.
my heart.
Yeah.
My only prediction, I think I have decided that there's gloves and there's a hood. Or two hoods, but I don't think they're on the same team. I think there's two. I think somebody's trying to help the girls more and somebody is trying to wreck the girls.
Essentially an A and a B team, if you will.
Yeah.
Gabby on the chat says that the producers confirm that Mona is not the last character that we've seen look dead but not be dead.
Oh, Mrs. D.
Yeah.
She's alive, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah! I'm just
I feel
kidding,
like
guys.
that
Sorry.
is a good place to end it with. And also, let us know who you think is still alive. We're saying Mrs. D at this table.
Maya. I say Maya.
Maya?
Yeah.
Well, tweet us this week and let us know and use the hashtag ABTVPLL. And you can always tweet us at AFTERBUZZ TV, or you can tweet me at Stephanie Wenger, and you can also find me on Instagram.
You have an Instagram now?
I always have had an Instagram, but it's now going to be used more. So
I
Well,
follow you.
Good
Whoa,
job.
everyone.
Whoa.
Well, Heather clearly wasn't following you.
I wasn't aware, clearly.
It's the same handle, guys. Shocking, I know.
I'm Kristin Strange. You can find me on Twitter at Kristin Strange and the same on Instagram.
Wow.
Was that wrong? Was I not supposed to
No,
say
I just like had a moment for a second. I was like, what's my handle again? I'm just kidding, you guys. My name's Hannah Prichard. Again, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @TheHotShotDude.
I'm Heather Joy Smith, and you guys can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter and on Snapchat at Heather Joy Smith.
And remember to tweet us all your theories. Thanks so much.
Hashtag ABTVPLL.
Yes, and we will see you all next week for more PLL.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.